Hello, my friends. It's Coleraine or Coleraine Tarot here on YouTube. My pronouns are they, them. And I am in this beautiful space today. This is actually one of my most sacred spaces, so thank you for joining me here. We are going to channel messages for you from the Fae realm. Some people might have a little bit of fear around the Fae, or there's like a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation about the Fae, online especially. So I'm going to bring through some messages to help connect you to this realm if you are interested in working with the spirits of the land, if you're interested in connecting to that, if that's an ancestral thing for you. I know it is for me. So let's get into the space of bridging that gap for you. If you notice any ants walking around, that's because I am outside and these ants live underneath the scrub oak that I'm sitting under. So consider them little messengers from the Fae. They might walk across your cards and such, but we are actually borrowing some rocks from this little rock area that I'm in to help connect us deeper to the land and what this specific land and the Fae and the spirits that reside here want to bring through for you, and in order to connect you to the land that you're in. So cast your gaze across these four piles. This first group has this green, I think it's a serpentine, a natural form of it. The second group has this, what looks like Dalmatian jasper to me. I know there's another name for it that I'm not remembering. Group 3 has this pink granite. And group 4 has this mica ridden piece. It might be hard to see because the sun's not fully shining today, but it's very shiny. So when you are ready, I will get into the piles. If you're not quite ready yet, I was feeling called to read, and see, here's another ant friend. Oops. Go onto the ground again, little friend. It wants to stay on me. So but I'm being called to read this passage from the Dhammapada, so if you want to sit with me through this, you totally can. Otherwise, I will see you in your group. So this is going to christen the reading and just set our space. Happiness. And this is chapter 15 from the Dhammapada, which is like a Buddhist scripture. Happiness. Truly we dwell in happiness. Others hate, but we do not. Surrounded by those who hate, we live free from hatred. Truly we dwell in happiness. Others are sick, but we are not. Surrounded by sick people, we live free from sickness. Truly we dwell in happiness, free from struggles while others struggle. Surrounded by struggling people, we live free from conflict. Truly we dwell in happiness, having no obstacles at all. We shall feed on joy like radiant gods. Victory produces hostility, for the defeated ones live in grief. Releasing both victory and defeat, the tranquil minds dwell in happiness. There is no fire like lust, no evil like hatred. There are no disasters equal to the khandhas. There is no happiness greater than the peace of nirvana. Hunger is the most severe bodily disease. Conditioned things are the worst calamity. When we see this clearly, we achieve nirvana, the ultimate bliss. Health is the highest prize. Contentment is the greatest wealth. A loyal friend is the best relative. Nirvana is the supreme bliss. Having tasted the sweetness of solitude and tranquility, one becomes free of sorrow and sin, while fully savoring the nectar of the joy of spiritual excellence. It is good to see the holy ones. To live with them is always happiness. Not to see the low-charactered is always happiness. Therefore, like the moon, following its ordained course, let each one follow a good person, wise, steadfast, loyal, and holy. So, thank you, Spirit, for leading us through this beautiful message. I will see you in your group. Greetings. This is your pile if you selected this raw serpentine piece. So I'm going to really quick anoint you with some enchanted forest oil. When I sat with the Fae before this, they asked that I do this for some of the groups. So Just bringing that over you to help you open up to the interconnectedness of everything. And I'll close this up. Okay. So, Group 1, you are being characterized here as the Royal of Water in my deck, Apocalyptic Theater. And the Royal of Water is somebody who is very mature emotionally. This is someone who knows when to speak and when to stay silent about their emotions. This is not somebody who is impulsive about their emotional behavior. They're very deeply in touch with the emotions. And I feel like for you, it may be something that sometimes you're deeply swept into the emotional realm, almost to the point of becoming ungrounded or feeling a little bit hopeless or helpless due to the emotions. It feels like this group has an extreme potential for grounding, the Fae are saying to me. This group has many identified spirit guides in the form of animals and plants, and it's time for you to deepen that relationship in order to get you out of the experience of feeling like you are lost or searching or you're hopeless or your emotions are too much to bear. So yeah, I'm going to set this to the side and we're going to dive deeper into your cards. So the first two I pulled were upright and the rest were face down. So I'm going to start with the ones that came out upright. And you got the card, another water court, the water knight. This is Scutum, protection, preservation, and defense. I'm feeling like a lot of you have a lot of responsibilities to protect, serve, even shelter and unify others. And this is something that the Fae are bringing through as a very essential part of your life path, is to understand others and to be someone who can empathize with almost anyone, regardless of your personal beliefs, if they match up or not. I also feel that you are someone who can handle a lot of emotional pain, almost to a fault. Someone who maybe takes on a super heavy amount of emotion, and sometimes it's almost difficult for you to accept help. And sometimes it also feels like with that knight energy and the royal, you're somebody who both has to serve alongside others who are fighting in their battles, as well as being one who can affect change in terms of how those battles are faced. You're somebody who the higher realms of spirit, these more powerful forces in the universe, have gifted with a certain wisdom and knowledge when it comes to the emotional space. A lot of you may be mental health professionals, even medical health professionals, somebody who's really helping to guide, support, and nurture others in terms of their physical experience. Because when I'm talking about emotions, these are lived experiences. These are things that manifest and express themselves in very physical ways, and especially in patterns. I'm feeling like this group, you're very strong pattern recognition machines is kind of what the Fae want to call you. Also seeing a lot of butterflies for this group. So you may be very closely in contact with ancestors who've passed on that you knew in your lifetime, or friends and family who would feel like they're a part of your ancestral group. They feel like they're family. Maybe they carry this spiritual guidance and wisdom into your life. If you do have loved ones who have passed on, they are very much with you. If you see a butterfly, this may be a symbol that one of those passed on loved ones has turned into the form of a butterfly. Or I'm also seeing dragons or bees, or dragons. Why did I say dragons? Maybe it's dragons, but I was going to say dragonflies. Dragonflies or bees, something that's like a winged insect creature. This could also extend into beetles. You also have the Three of Wands here, and these cards were more talking about what the Fae wanted to bring to your attention in general. And the Three of Wands being paired here with these figures of the water court, I feel like they're saying that you have this message this drive, this determination, and they're bringing me back. When I had to come down here today, there's a certain route that I take, and it's kind of like a little nature path that you wind through the forest and you go into this secluded place and meet the river, and that's where I'm at right now. But I had to clear away a bunch of freshly felled tree branches out of the way, and I felt a deep remorse for the trees who were mutilated in that way. I also felt a remorse for the humans that obviously had placed them in that path, because of the distrust that they felt in making this place accessible to others, because I've noticed recently there's a lot of garbage that people have been leaving here, which also deeply pains my heart for the environment and how this is affecting the plants and the animals here. But it really hurt me that the humans that were in charge of taking care of this place, the wind's picking up, that were in charge of taking care of this place or took on that role, they didn't trust the people who would come in the future. And that made me really sad that humanity doesn't have that kind of respect and hope for each other to do things better and make a better choice. And so there's something here about this Three of Wands being like, I almost want to say like an angelic or a spiritual fortitude. They're kind of like using these words of passion for me that are almost hard for me to translate into English. That you have this like drive, this like nothing's going to stop me, because I could have given up and just walked around and found a different way down, but I felt this determination to change this and make things right and help people to see, the next person who shows up, hey, this is a sacred, protected place. And when I was moving those tree branches, they were cedar trees, and the cedar are great guardians of the forest, in my opinion, when I've worked with their energy. And some may say that this is connecting with the Fae, because the Fae is the spirits of the plants, the spirits of the forest, the spirits of nature. And so there's something here about you being like the cedar tree, being strong, being able to stand your ground. And I'm getting full body chills when I'm feeling this. Helping to redirect when people make mistakes, to acknowledge that mistakes are a part of life. They're a way that we can grow and see our own deeper shadow beliefs about others, about ourselves, and about the human nature in general. I feel like there's something about this group that's deeply, deeply compassionate for the human condition. So let's move on to the cards from the Conscious Spirit Oracle deck. And this is more of how the Fae realm sees you and your gifts and how you can use these gifts. So again, you are definitely connected to the water elements, and they're your spirit guides, because we literally have these two as the first cards. 25 Spirit Guides says, I open my heart to my guides and trust in the wisdom they share with me. Beautiful. It's almost like they mirror you. They mimic your actions. They call you into a place of acting out these higher aligned actions that are infused with wisdom, and they're connected to that water element. The water element is about cleansing. It's about our intuition. It's also about our ability to empathize, they want me to say congeal, mix, to have contact with others. This is what, water passes through our bodies. It's filtered through many different things in nature. Water is even filtered through the earth itself. So there's something here about you filtering information and being able to penetrate deep into places that other people cannot. This is within the spirit realm. This is also within other people. The water elemental card, which I feel like is essential for you, group 1, says, I allow my body, mind, and spirit to flow intuitively through the changes in life. This is about not controlling. If a lot of you have been in this place of using those more masculine qualities of control, of I guess just being able to like direct and guide, it's really important for you to get in touch with the other parts of your spirit gifts, which are about being able to listen, being able to slow down and lend an ear to the earth. I feel like some of you have been, out of necessity, drawn into kind of what people think of as the rat race, in our human society, where you're forced into this fast-paced lifestyle, or you're living in an environment that takes you away from being able to ground yourself. And so these guides, especially the water elemental guides, are saying that you can ground yourself really easily through water, through contact with the water, through sitting and listening to the ways that the water has to move. And listening to movement is a very interesting thing, because it shows us that there is telepathic communication that you have the access to, but haven't fully been able to connect with yet. And another way that this is being shown to me is actually the mountaintops that are near me. I'm in a valley right now, and I can see the peaks of these mountains. They're covered in white snow. And I was being revealed while I was driving up here from the Fae, as I was connecting with them, that water is like storage for this valley through the summer months. It's late into, or mid-April, but it's kind of like late into the beginning of spring. I would say it's past, those beginning moments. And so that snow still existing is showing that this valley will not go without water in the heat of the summer months, and this will sustain life. So there are some things in your life that may feel frozen or stuck, and that may encourage that feeling of confusion, and that may be why you feel confused or lost. And this is the Fae reminding you that, like water, there are many different states that your energy can take on. And spirit is like the weather that influences how those states are preserved or moved, again, that movement through these different material forms. And I hope this makes sense. That was kind of like a high dimensional message. So I want to thank you for being attuned to being able to receive a message like that, and being receptive, and being the one who inspired that message too, because I feel like I just learned something through that as well. Archangel Raphael here says, I invite Archangel Raphael to bring healing and knowledge into my life. If you work with the angelic realm, they're wanting me to bring up this awareness of the Fae and the angelic realms being one and the same, being interconnected. They just have different names depending on the cultures that they originated from. But Archangel Raphael wants to come through, opening your heart space to help you to release any empathy burnout that you've been feeling. If you're a caretaker or somebody who others rely on for emotional or physical needs, it's time for you to ask for the help that you need to be able to sustain this energy, especially when you face extremely dense, shadowed, or conditioned energies from past incarnations in your own life or past life incarnations in others. I feel like a lot of you understand the concept of spiritual healing, and you're being called to deepen that role of spiritual healing so that you're not taking on this responsibility of I have to heal. Remembering that source, that the universe, that God, that whoever you see this higher power as holds the codes of every single resource that you need, and it's important for you to recognize that you are an important role in that, but you are not the sole source of that energy. Beautiful. 28, release. This is a beautiful message to move into over here. I release that which does not serve my higher purpose with gratitude and love. There's a lot of cleansing that needs to happen in this group. Use the water, call on the elemental water spirits. Lastly, I'm noticing that there is this imprint of the moon in the sky. When you see the moon in the daytime sky, know that your guides are leading you through that day, helping you to pivotally connect to your intuition in that day. So when you look up and you see the moon, when it's daytime, when when it should be covered, when it should be veiled, like the wind just reminded us, know that that is a special day. It is an important time for you to connect with the light of the sun, that conscious awareness, and your deeper subconscious awareness of what's truly going on in life. And you are being smiled upon by these guides and given the opportunity to release and cleanse with the moon. So let's see. You have some final cards here from the Wisdom of the Avalon Oracle and the Earth Alchemy Oracle. These will all be listed in the description as usual, of course. I want to give creator credits. But we have the card Focus 33. again, this is bringing me back to that message I was bringing up about you being focused on work, being connected to your work, being surrounded by a lot of really intense or challenging energies. Some of you may have kind of nomadic tendencies. If that doesn't resonate, that's okay. It's for someone else. But I'm feeling like a group of you are very movement oriented. And it's important to get clear on what your movements are doing or the purpose of those movements, because it's really important for this group to get grounded and to know what you're carrying and why you're carrying it and where you're headed and how you can effectively work with this, because some of you have quite a strong and heavy burden to carry with you, and so it's important to be strategic about how you do this so that you're not burning yourself out over and over. Focus is going to get you clear on the path, and to not get so focused on where your path is going that you get confused by all the trees. That like phrase, I know it's kind of cliche, but like not seeing the forest from the trees. This is meaning that some of you are getting lost in the details that are there to distract you by energies or entities that are seeing how much power you have and wanting to gain some energy from that. So being really clear about centering and focusing the mind, being able to use visualizations and meditations to release energy and feel that in your body. Sometimes when we do visualization meditations, it can be a very mental process, and your guides are repeating over and over. We got to get out of this controlling, this mindset of manipulation, and not in a negative way, but into a mindset of feeling and sentience and experience over trying to make sense of it and analyze. Finally, your last card here is the rose quartz and the olive tree. This is one of my personal favorites, and it says alchemy of love. This is the air element and the earth element. It says peace offering, compassion, and Venus energy. If you don't have an altar set up, the first thing I'm hearing is that it's really important for you to make some kind of offering to your guides, to give them permission, and also some kind of energy that they can use to facilitate affecting and transforming different areas of your life, or setting up provisions so that when, like that metaphor of the snow, when that snow melts, when you're provided with that water and that material of the abundance like the summer, you're able to hold that and it won't erode or cause a landslide, things like this. Getting grounded, holding your ground, holding your space, feeling secure, being able to account for the things in your life that you need to be accountable for. You know, this could be taking stock of the physical items in your life as well for some of you, or just getting a bit more like earth energy type of approach to something, where you're being very strategic, grounded, practical about something, but without that rigidity. You're going to be able to find this deeper peace within your life. And I also like how there's roses down here. So they're reminding me that every rose has its thorns. Every prosperous endeavor has the patience required to have this harvest, is what they're saying. So the olive tree is something that takes a really long time to grow and root, and it's something that we have to be very patient and receptive, and we have to honor its long-term effects. This is like an investment that you're making in your reality. And so whatever your literal circumstances are, your guides are saying, you know that you have to carry this message, you know that you have to deliver this message, that it's going to take some kind of dedication from you, but I feel like that dedication's already there. Spirit's saying we have and I guess the Fae are also coming through with this. We have our own methods, we have our own consciousness that sees things in a way that sometimes the human mind can't always recognize. And as I'm saying this, the butterfly comes by again. So remembering that that's your guide, it's like the butterfly effect. When one little thing goes into place, there may be a response even 10 years later that we don't see that chain of events of how it happens. So remember that your love alchemizes. If you get in a place of feeling stuck, scared, frustrated, or hopeless, infuse love into the situation. Remember that your compassion is your greatest gift, and also this extends into the natural world too. You can be an advocate for others in a loving way. You don't have to be out, in a completely destructive energy in order to bring this love, to bring this peace. Especially, you don't have to be in a destructive energy, but sometimes that destructive energy serves you. So knowing when to find that balance is going to come from having this focus. Woo. And they're saying that's it. Your cards just like flew out when I did that. But thank you so very much, Group 1, for being here for this message. Thank you again for being at that consciousness level that allows you to receive the energy, the love of this message. I can't wait to see you in another video. I have so much gratitude to the Fae that came through and helped assisting with this message as well. If you're interested in a personal reading, as always, reach out through the information in the description on my website, and I will see you in another video, my friend. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you selected this, I'm going to call it a Dalmatian Jasper. This is your reading. So I feel a huge wave of gratitude come over me when I come into your energy. And I almost said wage of gratitude. So it feels like there's something that you're being paid from the spirits around you for your ability to take time to slow down and appreciate the land, the spirits, even like people around you is what they're saying too. I feel like your group, because you're being characterized here from the card from Apocalyptic Theater, a Crepusculum, which is in the position of like the Rider-Waite Coleman Smith Moon card. This is the 18th Arcana. Crepusculum means twilight, or that place between dusk and nightfall. So you've been in a transition period, Group 2, and your patience with the universe as you've been waiting here has been well received, and there's some like gratitude that you've been putting out, that the universe has been feeling you sending out, that is going to pay off in some larger way. I want to feel into this card a little more. I feel like for some of you, you're leaving a relationship. You've been letting go, and you've been trusting in the process a lot more, because this card can often talk about the karmic pathway, the pathways that we must walk because of inheritance, because of sacrifices that we need to make for the things that we feel are essential in our lives and in the lives of others, the things that we see as needing true change in our reality. But it's also talking about being able to see the beauty in darkness, being able to understand that for as many difficult and challenging moments that we have, the universe is always trying to surprise us with blessings and gifts. And for you, recognizing that with gratitude, even in your hardest times, the universe is saying, the Fae are saying specifically, that they've been leaving you little gifts, wanting to connect with you deeper and help to restore that hope in the magic, in the miracles of life. So I'm going to bring out the cards that I pulled face up for this group from the Cosmos Tarot and the Guiding Light Tarot, and then we will get into your oracle cards. So you have a more fiery energy, Group 2, and I'm feeling like the Fae that work with you are of the fire element. They're, sun spirits, maybe moonbeam spirits. They're beings of light. A lot of you may be seeing rainbows, or having, you'll have a thought and then you look over and you're instantly guided to looking at a rainbow or a little orb or something. They're beings that appear in the form of light, and they're also beings with angelic frequencies. You may be especially connected to the sun with the Emperor and Leo coming out. It says reputation, showmanship, chivalry, and loyalty. And I'm seeing like a newt coming out of this third eye area. So they may be literally like lizards in your environment too. They are connected to certain fae spirits. They like reptilian animals. I'm seeing ones that are cold-blooded that need the light to infuse them to survive. You may need to sunbathe or moonbathe or something like that. It's another message that they're bringing through. So very interesting fae energy here. And especially the color red in your root chakra is really important, or just blood in general. So let's see. The water king here is Camilo Pardalis. Sorry, I've never said that out loud. Seeing the big picture, gaining perspective. So this is actually bringing me to a video that I watched yesterday. I might link it for you, group 2, if I remember. But it was from Alice. I'm forgetting her last name, but it's okay. I'll try and remember to link it. But she was talking about seeing fae and seeing spirits in stones and wood, and when in nature, being really connected to these spirit fifth dimensional beings and what they had to communicate to her through their presence and through their material form. And seeing the big picture and gaining perspective is reminding me that your deepest ability that the Fae are wanting you to recognize and connect with is your ability of sight. So a lot of you may identify with being clairvoyants, or you may be really great at water and fire scrying, since those are the two elements that came forward, and those are the two elements that you typically think of scrying with. But you may be somebody who, if you haven't done this already, I would recommend working in an abstract form creatively, so that you're not focused on creating an outcome right now, but you're focused on receiving whatever happens by chance and making meaning out of that. And that might be a really great practice for you in terms of where you're at in life in this transition period. And also, I feel like a lot of you are really releasing burdens and karmas of the past, either from your ancestral line, from past lives, from all of them, or from just this lifetime. So yeah, I'm feeling like in the future, you're going to be called into this emperor position where you're able to recognize these foundations, or have like respect for the past and those who came before you. But right now there's too much muddled. So some of you may be very anti-tradition, and it's, the Fae are saying like this is with good purpose, and they're actually saying this is how they were able to connect with you in the first place, is that you weren't so rigidly clinging on to tradition, group 2. But they're saying that doing this helped you see the bigger picture and gain perspective, because the Water King can be somebody who really follows their intuition, who listens to their own voice and their own emotions and what they're feeling, rather than what other people are telling them to feel. With the Four of Swords here in the reverse as well from the Guiding Light Tarot, it feels like there is a call to rest more. Be more intentional about the time that you're taking to slow down, because this is working for you, group 2. Let's go into your oracle cards. And you have the Stag, the Green Man, and the Throat Chakra. So some of you, it may be really important at this time for you to connect with male ancestral figures, or Fae guides that aren't so whimsical, like guides of the trees, like this Green Man is showing. This even says new spirit guides on it, ritual and ceremony, moss agate. Some of you are gifted at ceremony. That's also why this Leo card came out. You're somebody who's going to be, because the Emperor is talking about the foundation of ritual, the foundation of a society or tradition or group. So there's something here with the Green Man and the moss agate, and even this oak. I'm sitting under a scrub oak at the moment, so the oak is really essential for you. But this energy of like working working with these male ancestral guides, with the tree guides, something that's more sturdy, even like fae that come in the form of like being stone people. That's kind of what she was talking about in that video I was mentioning. So there's something really solid and firm. Your guides really don't want you to go and see, like, in search of ungrounding information right now, information that's going to expand you from where you are. Especially since you have like the emperor and a king here, and then the green man and the stag. Oop. Sorry, the wind has been doing this to me a little bit, so let's see if I can anchor this down over here. But again, having to do that right now is just I had to use a stone to anchor the blanket down. So there's something here about staying grounded. Getting grounded is really, really essential to you. Even like I'm seeing someone like covering themselves in mud or dirt, doing some kind of penance, but also being humble in knowing that as you're doing this, you're in process of finding the version of you that you feel most comfortable with. Because I feel like a lot of you have been somewhat subconsciously in discord with yourself, where you feel misaligned from your true nature. And this green man in the moss agate, if you have some moss agate, I would definitely use it. They're going to empower you to make choices that come from a place of deeper authenticity, that come from a place of self-empowerment, and not from a place of power over others, which is maybe where you're coming from, and you're trying to release this like patriarchal paradigm of like domination or control. And so you're using this tree wisdom in order to move into the stag energy, which is pride and leadership. This card of the stag, some of you may even have connections to the December months, just because I'm feeling this like Capricorn type energy from this. I know that this is the Celtic month of December is the stag and the birch tree, but there's something here about pride and leadership. You even have reputation, showmanship, chivalry, and loyalty right underneath the card. So again, some of you are masters of ceremony. It's important for you to get right with yourself, to know what traditions are important to you, to have the knowledge under your belt. So some of you are being called into deeper research as well at this time. So it's important for you to have this knowledge that it's unquestionable knowledge. You know exactly where the source came from. You trust the information. If it rings true in your spirit, you've used that intuition to seek it out, and then you can move into this position of pride and leadership. And for some of you, you're wondering what this means for you because you don't feel like a traditional leader. And the Fae are saying leadership is more than just an acknowledgement of one's power. It's also about being able to accept the roles that others want to co-create with you within. So you can be a leader and not be in that traditional like organizing like role. You can be a leader and be in this position of service as well. Finally, you have here the throat chakra, and I feel like this is what the Fae are wanting to emphasize for you in order to bring about this movement forward, this movement out of this transition period, because it's on the Four of Swords. They want you to activate and work with the throat chakra. So if you have the ability to go to a Reiki teacher or a Reiki master, or if you are a Reiki master, or if you operate completely outside of that system, which is totally valid, any type of spiritual healing around the throat is going to be important. It says, I speak my truth and encourage others to speak theirs. This is the type of leadership you're stepping towards, and the way that you're going to lead yourself. Not only that, because leadership doesn't always have to do with us versus others. This can be about leading yourself, guiding yourself, stepping into having a deeper spiritual leadership channeled through your body too, because the throat chakra is about channeling. So that's all I'm seeing for you, Group 2. I want to thank you so much. Thank every other force in the universe that brought us together into this healing space. I pray that this blessed you in some way and helps to guide you forward in your journey. Thank you so much for being here and for being the reason that I could channel such a deep and beautiful message to you today. See you soon, Group 2. Greetings, Group 3. If you selected this pink granite, this is your reading from the Fae. I feel like I need to anoint you with some oil. They had me bring out, when I was connecting with the Fae to get this reading started, before I came out here, they wanted me to anoint some of the groups with this enchanted forest oil. It smells heavenly. So I'm just going to anoint you with this really quick. Bring through an energy of openness, receptivity, and also a connection that lasts into the future from you finding this reading to the forest spirits. And don't worry, my candle blew out a while ago, so I'm just going to anchor this down with that stone over there. Thanks, little stone, for participating. So let's get into your reading, group 3. You have the Curriculum Hermetis card here, which means the Chariot of Hermes from my deck, Apocalyptic Theater. This is the moment of blessing. And actually, I just realized this is the moment of anointing with oil when the wise people, those astrologers who follow the star in the night, they represent like the intuition. In this deck, they're the magician or the magi. They follow that guidance from above, from spirit, from the divine, and then they reach the Jesus figure and they anoint him with oil. So there's something here about you being blessed and being able to reach a state of union within yourself. This can be an alchemical union. This can also be a physical union. For some of you, I feel like you are preparing for some kind of ceremony, like a wedding ceremony or some kind of moment in your life where you're going to make some kind of dedication or commitment either to another person, to an organization, to a belief. Because for various people, it's going to be various different things. For some of you, I'm just seeing like a very religious ceremony where maybe you're, getting promoted into a certain role spiritually, like in your organization. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Or maybe this is something that's already happened in the past, and so it's important for you to acknowledge that you are, you have been visited and blessed by certain spiritual guides that are, I'm feeling like, very hard to access in terms of their rank spiritually, but because of your, I'd say your own merit for all of you. Because of your own merit, because of the choices, decisions, beliefs that you've chosen consciously in this lifetime, you've reached some point of deeper knowledge, deeper communication with the universe, because the Chariot of Hermes also talks about our ability to communicate and perceive the messages of the universe, of spirit. I do feel like there's something here about my attention being drawn in like many different places. Interesting. So I pulled cards for the other groups from these 2 tarot decks, and you don't have them. I don't know why I didn't pull them for your group, but we shall do that now, I guess live. So let's see, Spirit. Let's see. Messages from the Fae. What do the Fae want group 3 to know? I knew that card was going to come out. It was just standing out. That's way too many cards that just flew down there. Okay. There's something new that's you're getting prepared for another initiation in your life, is what I'm hearing. And the Fae want you to keep working with them, because I feel like this group is already initiated into working with the Fae. You've done it. You've probably seen some before. You understand the like deeper inner workings of that like dimension of reality, because it is a different dimension. Supernova here coming out as outburst, explosion, surprise. There's going to be something really surprising, I feel like, for a majority of you. This is in your future. This may be that ceremony that I'm talking about, this initiation point. But for others of you who are working outside of a tradition or by yourselves with spirit, this is going to be something where you are called to, I'm hearing the word sabbatical, so take some kind of period of rest or a short journey or something, and some things are going to get shaken up for you. The binary system coming out with this too, coexistence, gravity, and harmony. What this initiation is going to do is bring you into a deeper connection with spirit, and it's even, the people are even making an S for spirit or for soul is what they're saying. So, and I feel like for some of you, I'm feeling an ambivalence is what they're saying. There's a kind of lack of faith that's washed over you recently, and it may be due to certain hardships or a lower vibration that you've been picking up on from maybe the people around you or the life circumstances. Maybe you're consuming too much global news that is disheartening, and not to say that that's bad or anything, but sometimes when we feel too much compassion, it can kind of bring us into a place of numbness. And so what this is doing is Spirit is showing you that there is, the good and the bad to everything. This is like an initiation that has to do with yin yang, with neutralizing binaries in your life and helping you to see that not everything's black and white, and getting you to reawaken that sensitivity. Because at the beginning of your group, I was just feeling, and on the bottom of the deck is dark matter, unseen forces at work, and karma. I was just feeling easily distracted, or almost you were saying well, it's not that big of a deal, this isn't going to be all that significant. But your guides are saying your attitude is everything in certain circumstances, especially when it comes to your spiritual practices, because Spirit can only meet you at the vibration that you decide to bring yourself into. So let's get one more message from the guiding light, and it came out instantly. So, and the Four of Wands is on the bottom of the deck. So Spirit is wanting to unify with you, connect with you. Two of Swords, Ace of Cups. Let's move these up. And Page of Cups. So water energy, air energy. I feel for a lot of you, you're going to need to lean on others for support right now, and recognize that other people have gifts to provide you that you don't have within yourself. And so it's essential to have people around you that round you out, that you feel are meeting you on a certain level, but maybe surpass you in other ways. Surrounding yourself with people that you only have to help, or that are only in a place of needing your perspective or your wisdom, or even needing your strength. Because for some of you, it's not even from that egoic place of oh, holier than thou. It's sometimes people around us physically and literally need our strength or need our presence for being able to function. And I feel for a lot of you, you're just reaching this point of really needing to lean on the idea that the earth provides everything that we need, and recognizing that you as a part of the earth are made to bring through that same resource, but also recognizing that it doesn't always have to be a conscious effort. Because the Ace of Cups is showing you that there's a new cycle happening for you emotionally. And I just feel your heart is so rigid. There's a wall around the heart that's kept other people out. For some of you, you've isolated due to mental health things, to needing to preserve your peace. Some of you have been really, really focused on protection rituals for a long time, and it's time, Spirit's saying, to let yourself be more vulnerable. The Two of Swords is saying you don't know where you're supposed to go. You're at a crossroad, and it's okay to recognize that maybe you're seeing a reflection of yourself in this unknown. And maybe that reflection of yourself is a little scary. So you're being called into deeper shadow work through this initiation. The Page of Cups is also reminding you that what's going to happen is you're going to see everywhere where your innocence has been your gift, and everywhere where your innocence has been your downfall. And so it's time really to work deeper with your own soul, in order to remember that you are not alone. You are never alone. And I'm feeling for you, this group, I'm seeing small rodent animals as being really important in terms of connecting with that Fae energy. Because I believe that the Fae is a dimension of nature that we cannot always see, but we can definitely feel and receive. And so working with small creatures who often we see as being, especially the mouse for some reason, it's like we usually see the mouse as being this kind of helpless like feeder animal. Lots of animals eat mice. They even like hardly come out of their burrows sometimes out of that like kind of fearful energy. But mice are incredibly strong. They represent strength of the home, being able to lift things that are much bigger than they are. The mouse is like, I'm thinking of like quiet, like a church mouse. Like they can survive right underneath our noses. And sometimes that's their downfall, is that they get sniffed out. But I'm feeling like connecting with this energy of being vulnerable and finding strength in that vulnerability, and that like will to persevere is really important for you, group 3, because this Page of Cups is reminding you that you are at the beginning of this emotional journey and that it's not time to stop here. The Page of Cups reminds us that sometimes our natural intuitive state, that state of even emotional immaturity, is a teacher, and it's something that's valid and important for us to experience, especially if you've been feeling a little bit short with others for their emotional immaturity. It's time to take a step back and realize where maybe they're reflecting a side of you that's a different form of emotionally immature. Sometimes enabling people or holding ourselves back from being honest with people can be an emotionally immature thing. So it's important to remember that there is a lot of change that's coming in your life because you've been blessed, because you've been guided to move forward, and you're ready. You're ready. I know it doesn't feel like it. Take your time, but you're ready to move through this initiation, group 3. So let's get your oracle cards. We have the Cat from the Wisdom of Avalon, Fuchsia and Feldspar, Inner Child, and At Day's End, Rest. I'm going to start here because I feel like this group needs a lot more rest. That's how you're going to find that playfulness, that joy, that ability to unify with yourself, to find that centering within yourself, to connect with yourself, to be able to reflect on yourself without judging yourself. Resting. It says, I find peace in nature and rest my body and mind in order to connect to spirit. And there's cats on the lap of this person, so definitely connect to cats. Cats may be another way that the Fae can reach you, especially if you're not, around a lot of rodents. A lot of people don't really want to have contact with rodents. I don't blame you, but cats, definitely a big part of that. And the spider is also standing out to me too, so that might be important. Let yourself chill. Fuchsia and Feldspar, this card always reminds me of another card in this deck that's literally called Fairies Orders, Rest. So definitely taking time to sit still and receive. We can't connect with the Fae realm if we're not opening our consciousness to a deeper perception of reality and connecting with the inner child. So innocence and self-awareness are really important for you at this time. Sitting down and really being gentle and soft and recognizing where there are places within your emotional body that you want to change, that you want to move through, and you want to use your awareness, your ability to communicate with the universe that you've already built up in order to move forward and recognize what you need to recognize. The cat here says independence and healthy boundaries. Again, this is maybe reflecting where you're surrounded by other emotionally immature people, and so it's time to take yourself out of the emotional immaturity of not setting proper boundaries, of not sticking up for yourself, or recognizing what's truly nurturing and beneficial for you. So this cat is definitely coming through for you, group 3. But that is all I'm seeing for you, my lovely group 3. I want to thank you so much. Thank your guides. Thank every other force in the universe for being here with us for this message. So much gratitude to the Fae realm for channeling this message through me to you today. And I will see you in another video, my friend. Bye. Greetings, group 4. If you selected this little mica rock, I guess the sun's come out more so you can probably see how shiny it is. This is your reading from the Fae, so let's get into it. You have the Furka card from Apocalyptic Theater that's representing you. And I feel like group 4, you're at a stage of complete renewal, is what they're saying. Something in your life has completely transformed, and now it's time for you to move forward with this new energy. Open yourself up to doing things in new ways. don't be clinging to the ways of the past or expectations that you may have for how things might turn out, because I feel like a lot of you have gone through what we might deem as like a tower moment where things just kind of break down. A lot of things have crumbled open, broken open, and it's time for a new change. This may relate to the recent eclipses that we've had at the beginning of 2024 if you're watching this in a timely manner. If you're watching this a little bit past when I post it, those energies of the beginning of 2024 could still be very much relevant in terms of the beginning of this cycle for you. So the Furka card tells us about our limitations. This card represents King Herod in the Jesus story. So there's something about trying to overcome or not getting lost in the powers that be. Some of you may be focused on a very large scale in terms of like how you see yourself and how you see your position, which is good, but it's time to not get lost and be a small fish in a big pond. And so Spirit's wanting to get you really focused on what is directly around you, so that you don't get lost in the details of your life. So let's go deeper into the tarot messages, and you have the Page of Air and the Fool. Pisces, Austrinius and Volans, disposition, tendencies, governing principle, and the Fool. Okay, so you have the Fool here twice, or that arcana of the zero arcana. I feel like a lot of you are way more versatile than you think. Think about the number zero. It's like the numberless number. It's kind of the number that without it, none of the rest of mathematics would work, but it also doesn't technically have any value. So not to say that you don't have any value, it's just you have a value that seems almost like indescribable. And so it may be easy for people to overlook it because they don't see and grasp and feel its true nature. So interesting. Disposition, tendencies, governing principle. This is the Page of Air. So this is all about how you think, how you conceptualize yourself, how you communicate with Spirit, what you believe to be true. There's a whole rejuvenation within the mental realm. For a lot of you, it may be important to work with fish, as this is kind of the Fae spirit that's really standing out to me here, as well as birds. So birds and fish are really important to this group. If you know other things that are true to you, don't let this reading limit you, but in particular, those are the Fae spirits that are coming through. It's time for you to learn how to go with the flow, but also not be afraid to swim upstream, is what they're saying. Honing in on certain points of focus and then going for them and kind of pushing out the distractions as well. Knowing what is true to you, what is authentic to you, I feel is something that you found in the previous cycle you went through. And so this rebirth, this renewal is letting you use this new understanding of your disposition, your tendencies, and your governing principle to move with both your shadow and your light attributes in order to do something that's very effective for yourself and others. But again, don't get stuck in the rigidity, and also don't give in to any fears that you may be having right now, because the Furka card can pull forward our own fears and how they pull us into limiting structures and systems, especially with King Herod. So let's see, these are your oracle cards from the Conscious Spirit Oracle, the Earth Alchemy, and the Wisdom of Avalon. You have Archangel Michael and the Flames of Wisdom, Crone. Archangel Michael says, I am grateful for the strength and courage Archangel Michael brings to my life. The Flames of Wisdom, the Crone, says, I am open to all of life's wisdom and share it with gratitude. I feel like for the majority of you, you're not going to be making so many decisions, but when you do make those decisions, call upon your guides for the strength, guidance, and support to be able to make clear decisions. Archangel Michael carries this sword of truth, and so his sword can bless and also separate us from anything that we are no longer meant to be aligned to. So through this transition phase, you may have people, places, circumstances trying to tempt you back into these other tendencies that you may have been experiencing, and you're choosing anew. I feel this conscious energy of making a different choice to overcome fear. And so it's really important for you to call on Archangel Michael, and if you work with any crone type figures, and it's also important to call on them. These may even be ancestors. The owl there showing up again as this bird spirit that's really important for you to connect with. I am open to all of life's wisdom and share it with gratitude. It's time for you to know that you are needed in certain places. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to have almost miraculous circumstances around the next opportunities that you find in your life, because you are meant to be this wisdom sharer and this wisdom bearer. And if you feel like your energy is being pulled on unnecessarily by others, call on Archangel Michael to create this shield around you so that you're not having to pull on your own energy to set that protective barrier. You have stromatolite and fern, which says akasha, earth and water element. Strip back and simplify. Look to your origins. So for a lot of you, this is going to be something that you can do through deep meditation work if you have some time right now, where you're like, I know I need to do spiritual work, but I'm feeling limited, etc., etc. Go and find some kind of meditation on the Akashic records or on like a past life healing. I feel like this is going to be exponentially helpful for you. Stromatolite and fern, akasha. Some of you are also naturally gifted in terms of reaching the akasha, and that's why you have this global perspective on certain influences. So definitely take the time to connect with the Akashic records on certain issues if you're trying to reshape how you personally relate to these larger collective paradigms. As well as the fern plant might be a way that you can connect with the Fae. Finally, your last card here is the Grail Knight, romance, illusion, and seeking the sacred. It's really important for this group to have extreme discernment right now is what the Fae, that's like the overall message. Use your discernment to pull forth the knowledge that is truthful for you and that is beneficial for your life purpose and overcoming challenges and stepping into this new cycle in your life. The Grail Knight is someone who has received higher calling or a higher order, and you also have the page here, so it's like mentally stepping into this role is going to help you unlock the seeking of the sacred, because the knight usually comes after the page. So definitely find your own holy grail. What lights you up, what feels like it's worth pushing you forward in the world. And this is going to be a unique path, a unique calling, a unique inspiration is also what they're saying. You're kind of being able to like make love to whatever in your life feels important for you to connect with. So definitely seeking out that energy, but not from a place of love, or not from a place of fear, but from a place of love instead. So that is all I'm seeing for you, Group 4. I pray that this message brought you some kind of blessing, some kind of help on your path at this time. I want to thank you so much for being here, for being the reason that this kind of message could come through. And I thank you so much. I hope to see you in another video, my friend. If not, have a beautiful life, beautiful journey. Thanks for being here with me. And as always, all my information is in the description below. Bye.